Ready? 1, 2, 3, go.
You guys, you'd think as long as we've been podcasting, which is like 29. This is the 31st episode we would know what we're doing. And
Yeah. It's basically the same as our age.
yeah, it's 31 is the worst, you guys, because then it's like, oh, you're solidly in your 30s. We're so bad. Like, Kristin literally just got up and left her microphone. I can see her because we're on like she just like bailed. So I'm doing this on my own right now, you guys. But listen, maybe you like these podcasts. If you like them, rate them. It's good for some reason. You can find us where
Subscribe.
You can find us, download.
Tell your
wherever
friends.
you listen to podcasts. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram. Just Google IMOMSOHARD. You can find us. We're there.
Yeah, that would be nice. That would be nice. Do all that stuff.
I have to say, I was doing online shopping, and I don't think that's going to come.
Shocker.
Yeah. As the day is long, I was doing online shopping, and I saw this shirt that had a drawing of a fork on it. And it said, "What the fork do you want?" And I thought about Eleanor.
Oh.
That's so bad.
I think my daughter would enjoy that shirt and would be forbidden to wear it for that very reason. Because she is already feisty enough.
I'm going to make Kristin talk about cussing today because I know she's got some really good stories about
Well, it's my favorite pastime.
It's an art form.
It is. Yes, I had to tell Jen the story because I've not told her this yet, and I always feel like when it's fresh and new, it's the most fun.
But you're going to have to tell that
yes.
Eleanor story later on too, because
Which one is this?
Because I was saying that when I saw that shirt that said, "What the fork do you want?" Eleanor's the only other person I know who would substitute the word fork for the word F-U-C-K, but she didn't even mean to. Like, she didn't know she was just adorable.
So the things that we're enduring now are fully our faults as parents. Like we have done this to ourselves. I am an imperfect parent in 1 million ways. I feel like parenting is pass fail. I'm passing, but we're talking in like a 2 or 3% degree here. And I 100% swear in front of my kids. I don't want to, I don't like to, but sometimes it comes out of me. And then if one comes out of me, it's like a river. Like, I'm like, fuck, oh shit, oh goddamn, oh shoot, son of a bitch. Like, I can't, like, it's one and then there's 8. So I have a problem. And to Jen's story, when Eleanor was very little, she could not say her R's. So when she said fork, she said fuck. And it was the funniest thing you've ever heard, because if you know my daughter, she sounds like an elf anyway. So when she was 3, it was even
so
more.
cute, you guys.
So at parties, we would be like, "Hey, Eleanor, say go fork yourself."
Folk.
And it was a party pleaser. It was a party pleaser until she started to realize that, like, if she said the word, it got a very funny
reaction.
Yeah. And then at school, they were like, "Eleanor thinks saying fork over and over is really funny." And I was like, "Is she pronouncing the R?" And they were like, "No." And I said, "Then it is really funny."
I had a friend who, he said it was his wife that taught the daughter this, but the daughter got in trouble because she said the actual word, F word, at daycare. And so then she would say,
I'm going to just say the word.
I will. Just be warned that this podcast is about swearing. So
we're going to actually say it in a scientific way, but it's also going to be sort of like a tutorial. So don't let your kids.
I'm quoting.
It's like a quote.
So my friend's daughter, when she was like 3 or 4, would say, fuck, don't say that as one entire word, because
oh, makes me so happy. That's a parent. Oh my God, that's a dad.
He said it was his wife.
Don't
but
say
that.
It
was him.
That makes me so happy. Well, I know there's words. I know what word is my husband's, and I know what word is mine. Shit is definitely mine.
Yes, I can see that.
GD is definitely my husband. But I've gotten better at the GD because it feels so. Listen, Cussing feels
Yes.
good. It's scientifically proven that when you cuss, it feels good. And it's scientifically proven that people that are really smart like to cuss. So there you
Okay.
go. So if you're someone who's in the middle of a heated, mad, like spewing anger and you say fiddly dee or like, gosh darn, I don't think you're mad and I don't think you're smart. You should be dropping
I
F-bombs.
actually do wish I could change my personal habits to say stuff like that because
Ew, now I wouldn't take you seriously if you're like, I've been so wronged. Gosh darn it. I'd be like, no, you weren't. I believe the other guy.
I love when people say like, oh my stars, or like, and
When they're super mad, when
no,
they've
not
been
when they're
wronged,
mad.
they say,
My-
oh my
aunt
stars.
used to say, oh gall, like instead of oh golly.
That's,
And she
she's
wouldn't
never
say
had a
God.
problem.
And so that did like rub off it. Honestly, like I don't actually have a problem with that, but my kids are not allowed to say, this is how lame we are. We're like the mean parents on the block. We definitely try not to cuss in front of them. I have like once, I think, and my husband for sure.
Good God. I have like once in the last 15
Well-
minutes stubbed my toe and I had like 11 come out.
My son is allowed to say fart, although he was not allowed to say that.
Super
It
funny
is
word.
a very funny word. But they're not allowed to say, oh my God. And I don't.
Yeah, we try. Do what we say, not what
Yeah.
we do. That's our
Gotta
household.
try at least.
You got to try. Like we knew the households when I was younger that you could go to and they would have a free cussing thing. Like you were like, your parents let you cuss, and then you would try it out and you would like weirdly like let a cuss bomb come out. You'd be like, oh shit, the cartoons are late, and no one would say anything. And I was like, this is a whole
I
new
know, but weren't you
world.
like, what a bad family that like let their kids
Kind
cuss?
of.
You were like, there's no way this is going to end well. Like, I don't know anything, but I'm
Yep.
pretty sure this is not how this is supposed to
Yeah,
go.
sure. But you know what? I also knew it wasn't my problem. It was just my fun to be had.
Absolutely.
I was like, I'm going to go home to Dewey and Terry and they're going to lay down the law. But right now, I'm going to drop a bunch
And
of
see, in
swears
10 years, I'll be
and watch
drinking here when you go to
cartoons
Cancun with your other neighbors. I'll be here.
Exactly.
Yes.
I'll be like, it's all fine. Like that was not my problem. I was not the parent. I was the one trying out the swears. I had my own set of problems. They can figure out their
Yeah.
parenting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
Did you know that with HelloFresh, you get fresh, pre-measured ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your door? HelloFresh lets you skip trips to the grocery store and makes home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. And that's why it's America's #1 meal kit.
Yes, HelloFresh offers the flexibility you need with customizable orders every week. You can easily change your delivery days or food preferences and skip a week whenever you need.
That's right. HelloFresh's Easy Eats offering has tons of quick and easy meal solutions like 10 to 20-minute meals, low prep recipes, and quick breakfasts and lunches, perfect for your busy schedule.
And Green Chef is now owned by HelloFresh. With a wider array of meal plans to choose from, there's absolutely something for everyone. We love the switch between the brands, and now our listeners can enjoy both brands at a discount with us.
That's right. And the thing that I like about HelloFresh and Green Chef is you end up finding a new and fun way to make something, and it seems complex, but it's actually very easy. And I don't know why having someone send it to you prepared, ready to go, and then you throw it all together, you feel very successful.
What I really love about it is I made Kristin do it.
Yep.
I made her subscribe, and she loved it. So I feel very victorious in this.
That's right. I get very intimidated with cooking, and both of these companies are awesome to help you serve up a new dish and teach you a thing or two. So go to HelloFresh.com/IMOMSOHARD10 and use code IMOMSOHARD10 for 10 free meals, including free shipping.
Go to HelloFresh.com/IMOMSOHARD10 and use code IMOMSOHARD10 for 10 free meals, including free shipping.
We're going to talk as pet parents, not just regular parents, but pet parents. You know, the ones that get all the reward from the thing that they're raising. Working from home has given us more time to spend with our four-legged family members. And now we're more aware of their daily needs, health issues, and well-being. So if you've noticed that your pet is itchy or smells less than pleasant, you have to check out Scout's Honor.
Yes, Scout's Honor uses probiotics to help with itch relief, odor control, and achieve an overall healthier skin and coat. Why am I not using it?
I was going to say, I feel like I need to use it on myself and my kids, but nope, it's reserved for our four-legged friends.
Scout's Honor probiotic grooming products are award-winning, scientifically proven natural solutions for treating your pet skin problems.
And they smell so good. There's amazing fragrances like lavender and honeysuckle and sandalwood and Jen's favorite, which is vanilla blend. It makes your pet smell really nice as opposed to what they can smell like, which is a
Not
wet
very nice.
bath mat.
That vanilla blend is so good, you guys. I'm like, don't eat the dog, Jen. I know you're. Don't eat the dog. So to receive 20% off your first order, go to scoutshonor.com/mom. Remember that Scouts with a K at scoutshonor.com/mom for 20% off your order. Scouts Honor, natural and preventative grooming solutions for pets. When I was like growing up, we were definitely not this is the weird thing. And this is like, I was not allowed to say any bad words. Like, you weren't even allowed to say like the generic equivalent or like the safe equivalent of a bad word when I was a kid.
Oh, neither were we, because we were like, you're just trying to get one. Like, if you said frick,
Oh, yeah.
my mom was like, that's basically you saying the F-bomb. And then you get into semantics, and then it would get you in more trouble.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because you're lippy. Stop
My
being
son said
lippy.
freaking, and I freaked out on him. I was like,
Yeah, we did too.
You know what that is? That's almost saying the worst bad word that there is. Mommy's favorite bad word.
Well, some people can argue there's another word that trumps the F word, which is the C word, which I didn't even know about until I was like 18.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was a word. I literally didn't.
Oh, really?
And when I've only dropped that one like 3 times in my life, and it was worth it.
Oh, yeah.
every time.
It's a big win when you
The
have to
C
do
word,
it.
if I bring that word down, I didn't whisper it. You know, like sometimes you say it and you're like, you whisper it, but that means you don't really have the balls to say it. But if I say that word, I'm probably like 2 steps from getting in a real fight, which only happened in college.
I'm pretty sure I've been called it more than I've said it, so I'm due to say it a lot more. So I'm not worried about that word at all.
That word does not slip off the tongue, but the old F-bomb surely can, because I enjoy it so much.
It's a fun word to say. It's got power to it.
You were saying at your house you weren't allowed to
we
say
weren't allowed
anything, not even the close ones.
And then when I was like 14 or 15, it was like, go ahead and say what you want to. Like
No way!
Yeah, just we were never corrected on it like after that. Like it was...
Oh, God, my mother loved to get on. My mom swore like a sailor. And then if you accidentally tried one out, she would turn it around and she was like, you know what? You do not sound intelligent when you talk like that. You know what? You need to have some more self-control. And I'm like, just like you did when Officer Wagner pulled you over for speeding and you called him a motherfucker. And she's like, how dare you? Like all shit rained down when Terry was put on blast. But I'm now getting handed my ass because we just found out. So obviously we're in quarantine still. We spend a lot of time together. We are in the house together a lot. So you think you have your kids figured out or that you know what they're doing because they're so underfoot. You do not. They're doing like remember when I was like, my kids are rarely on their iPads. And you were like, did you know that Eleanor's calling my husband like randomly like 5 or 6 times a day? And I was like, what? Because there's only like 8 numbers on that iPad and she knows Mr. Britt. So she's like, I'm going to call and check in, see how Colgate football's
going. Which honestly, funniest relationship of 2020 is their friendship.
Their friendship, which is only a through line to get to Delilah, but I was like, wait, what? So Finn's always telling me, like, I know they're doing stuff underfoot, even though you think you're around them so much, you know every move. So now we've found out that there is something called the cussing corner. So the kids so this is what Eleanor is like me. This is me. She can't do anything wrong without confessing, right? She is compelled. It is the deep Catholic in both of them. They will do wrong, but they will tell you about their wrong. So she's like, oh God, this is eating me alive. It's eating me alive. So she comes to Colin and she goes, Daddy, I got to tell you about the cussing corner. And Colin just played it cool and said, well, what's the cussing corner? She goes, Finn and I, we go into a corner and we practice swears. And he's like what one? She's like, fuck, fucker, motherfucker, fuckface, fuck off, fuck you, fuck. And then she said, so she lists like 25 F versions. And then she goes, and then we try out the SH word and the GD word. And I go, she didn't spell those out. She had a litany of 25 versions of the F word, but she saved, like, she didn't say shit and damn. Like, those were the two she held back. So evidently my children are trying it on for size, and they're also, and then she was almost done and she was very tearful, and she goes, we're also practicing the birdie. And I go, what's the birdie? And it's, flipping off, which is also one of my favorite things to do. I love flipping the bird. It's my favorite thing.
I think it's actually them doing that is really constructive. I think like a psychiatrist would be like, oh, what a great safe place to work some stuff out. Like, you know what I need is a cussing corner, because then I would rage a lot less.
Who was telling us that either I read this or somebody we know told us this, that when they were kids, they had a cussing table and they could come home after school and the mom would say, sit down, get all your cusses out right here. But this is the only place you can do it, and get all your cussing out. And when you're done, I'm going to go make a snack. And so the kids would like think it was so fun. And then for the first, and then 30 seconds later, they're like, I'm bored. I want a snack. I don't want to cuss
That's sort
anymore.
of like what you,
I'm going to do the same thing for booze table. It's called a bar. I'd stay there forever.
That's a different thing. But I remember kids getting caught smoking, which is super funny because everybody's parents smoked when we were kids. So then they're so readily available. But then kids, when they got caught smoking, their parents would make them smoke like a pack so they would barf or something like that.
Yeah. I've heard of that. I've never, my smoking was like, let me try to look cool after I've had 47 cocktails, and I'm going to smoke, and I'm going to hold the cigarette, and then I'm going to move my mouth to the cigarette. Do you know what I mean?
Move your whole head.
And then take a drag that barely made the end light up, and then throw it out halfway through, but have nice smoke breath. And look the part.
But to make your kids so sick, because it is I'm going to overload them on an actual chemical so that they didn't know what they were.
What parenting was different then.
You know what? Just because you've seen A Clockwork Orange doesn't mean you know the right way to discipline and to
You don't know what you're doing, and neither do we.
However, it is I think you're just when you're swearing, when I'm swearing, it's just to get it out.
To get it out. It emphasizes your feelings in a way that it accentuates it in a way that makes what you feel like it has meaning. And people that don't do it, I don't understand. I'm like, you've got to put it somewhere, that, or I'm just literally the most this is why I need an antidepressant and sedatives. I'm so high strung that if I don't, I can't. I gotta let them air out, or I'm gonna my ass.
And that's why
out.
I feel like I don't want to do it all the time, because when I here's the thing, Dash didn't know, he goes, but it's not a bad thing to talk about God or to say God or to so why is it, why can I not say, oh my God, or why can I not GD? And I said, because it's sort of reserved to get God's attention. It's the worst thing. So if you see the worst thing that you've ever seen, maybe that's a good time to say that.
Oh my God.
But because somebody said something silly on a game of Pokemon, no.
It's not
an
oh my God.
Jen, moment.
Here's what I think you need to tell him. Those words are reserved for when mommy's losing her shit. And so she wants you to listen to her in a way you don't normally listen. So I'm going to cuss bomb my children when I really need them to listen to me. And so that's why it can't become a word that we use so much that we ignore. Because when I swear, my kids do sit up. I told my son, because I heard him on a Zoom, and all the other three boys on the Zoom were kind of sorry, and they were talking shit. And I looked at him, I said, mute me. Mute you. And you listen to me. And I go, don't you talk shit. Don't you be a part of this. And he knew I meant, I just didn't have any other words to use. I was like Dewey in a minute. I was like, sometimes you just gotta, that was my dad's big conversation with me when I was in 7th grade and I was getting bullied and I was having a hard time with ADD and I was just struggling in every direction. And God bless my mom for the endless conversations she would have with me that she was trying to be impactful. And my dad did it in like 4 seconds. You know, I was crying. I was outside. I was so lonely. And he came outside and he's like, "You're having a rough time, huh?" I said, "Yeah, I don't know how to be. I feel like when I'm myself, it's not good enough. And I feel confused." And he's like, "Kristin, sometimes you just got to say, fuck it. You know, like just say, fuck it. You are who you are. And if people don't like you, fuck them." And in a minute, my dad, like, I don't know, became the thesis of my life, I guess. I was like, he's right. And the thesis of my life has 3 swear words in it. What does that mean? It's just symbolically.
Yeah. So it was like, it made you like take notice. And
it made me take notice. It made me realize my dad was talking to me in a way that he understands. And also it like made me feel a little like a rebel. It made me feel cool to think like in my head, like when things were bad, I was like, fuck them.
Yeah.
You know, like you can't make people like you. You can't like, fuck it. You can't like change for everybody's ways, or I'm not going to grow at the same time as everybody else. There's just some very powerful feeling to when you say fuck it.
yeah.
Guys, I hope all of your children are listening
No,
still.
I hope they're not listening because I really do. I honestly try not to swear around my kids. And I guess around adults it's different, but I also try not to swear all the time just because when I mean it, plus if you are just talking shit and joking around, then everybody like swears a whole lot more. But I always like to say when I'm super mad at somebody to tell them to get fucked. And I feel like
You said that so clinically, and I've been there. I've been there when the motivation is far more clear.
and it is such like a freeing thing to be like, that's how I say I'm done with
man.
you in this moment. That is my personal way of saying that.
My favorite is go fuck
Yes.
yourself. Man, that's like, and not only that, I say it like I'm in The Departed. Like I'm like, I am not from New England. I am not a Boston person, but there's something that deeply, like, it's like a trigger for me that makes me feel like, but I don't know that I've ever like fully said it out loud to anybody except when I'm in my car and it makes me feel like I'm a tough ass chick. Like I'm like, go fuck
I would
yourself.
never say that because I have trouble with my R's, and then I would just be inviting more of whatever was happening with that person.
Or more New Englanders because
Oh, yeah.
similarly, there you know, you would just have a lot of people from Baltimore that would be like, "Oh, is she from where we're
Then
from?"
I would just like
if you go to England, every other word is the F word. It's true. It's so true.
I have to talk about Peloton. I can't believe I'm saying those words.
Those are the greatest words I've ever heard you say, honestly.
Kristen really kicked me in the bottom, made me get going on changing my fitness plan, which was to watch TV most of the time, laying on my tuchus. So she got me signed up for Peloton, and I'm doing it, and I'm literally doing it like 4 or 5 nights a week. And I feel bad when I don't do it. I don't feel guilty. I mean, my body doesn't feel as good, and I don't feel as energized when I'm not doing it. Who am I?
I know. I'm telling you, that's why I like the Peloton experience so much, because I think there is something for everybody.
But they offer classes for every level, from beginner programs to Tabata intervals, which that's way above my current beginner level, but that's fine. Peloton's got your back at every step in your fitness journey. As you progress, choose from a wide range of cycling classes that meet your level and keep you challenged.
That's right. Get started on your Peloton journey. Go to onepeloton.com to learn more. With an endless variety of live and on-demand classes, live on-demand strength yoga, and stretching classes off the bike, you'll keep coming back for more and more.
Get started on your Peloton journey. Go to onepeloton.com to learn more.
That's onepeloton.com. ONEPELOTON.com.
Okay, you guys, I gotta tell you, you know I'm into skincare. I just discovered Apostrophe, a prescription skincare company for people that are ready to take their acne seriously.
All we had to do was fill out an online questionnaire about our skin concerns and medical history and just snap a few selfies, and then a dermatologist will get back to you with a customized treatment plan.
The best part is that Apostrophe offers topical and oral medication so you can treat your acne from the inside out and the outside in.
Apostrophe not only treats acne, but they can also help you with other skin care goals like reducing wrinkles, redness, and even dark spots.
The thing that I love about Apostrophe is that you can stop trying things that don't work, because people who have acne spend a lot of time and money trying to figure out like what's going to work for their skin. But what you need is something that consistently gives you results, because it really is stressful and embarrassing to have acne, especially at my tender age. I don't know if you.
Well, yeah, because that's, your hormones are all over the place because you're very, very young. So I do think it's really neat that they work with a dermatologist. So you do feel like you're getting guidance from someone who is very, very skilled at that. And right now, here's the best part. Get $15 off your first visit with a board-certified dermatologist at apostrophe.com/IMOMSOHARD and use code IMOMSOHARD. This code is only available to our listeners.
So to get started, just go to apostrophe.com/IMOMSOHARD and click Begin Visit. Then use the code IMOMSOHARD at the sign up and you'll get $15 off your dermatology visit.
That's apostrophe.com/IMOMSOHARD and use that code IMOMSOHARD to get your dermatology visit for $15 off. And we thank Apostrophe for sponsoring this podcast.
Thank you. I'm just going to say that because, it just feels so nice to hear.
It's my favorite podcast. It's my favorite thing to hear.
That your husband is probably the source of the GD, because I am sure that since the dawn of time, we have all learned that. I don't know why men use that word so much, but like, I thought it was just my dad. He is from New England. He's from Rhode Island. That was like his go-to word, his swear word was the GDs. And then Britt said, like, his dad could not fix anything without swearing so much, and it was all like this stilted, like, cut
it feels
off.
Good.
Like,
you know why? Because I think biblically, it's like the F word. The etymology, the history of the F word is really interesting. It goes all the way back, but it's a cuss word that came from the streets, right? But the God of it all came from the Bible. And that when you say God damn it, it's literally against the Bible. So it feels like even the best swear, because you're like, I'm not supposed to be doing this. And it's always in like a fit of rage. So it's that weird thing. It's like a cat of nine tails where you're like, I'm gonna beat myself and say this word because I know it's like literally the worst thing I should say. And it makes
that's a Catholic perspective right there, I think.
Totally. It makes me laugh really hard because GD seems so tepid to me. The F word seems so much worse. Yeah. But when we do live shows, it's so funny. When we do live shows, if I say GD in the live show, but I talk about giving my husband a beach, that's fine. But if I say GD, I'm getting DMs about it. Look at all these acronyms. I'm getting messages from someone in Dallas
DMs about the
GDs.
GDs.
Don't say GD in your show. You can talk about giving your husband a blowjob, but do not.
We did one time
talk about the Lord Jesus.
We got a message, and I believe it was from Dallas, Texas.
Oh, it's my favorite.
We were lustful, and I was like,
we were lustful women.
Listen,
I was like, my husband would disagree.
1,000%. And I don't know who's that like romance writer who uses that word. Like,
I don't know, but
I hope to God that's not in our demo. Insult. Jesus, am I that old? God.
Oh, either way though. You wanted to say "damn it" right there, and you said "gall."
But I just said Jesus though. No, but
But I don't
GD's
want
not my word,
that
though.
woman lustful. It's not mine either. Lustful is my favorite insult that's ever been given.
Oh my God, it's the best.
I love when it's my favorite. It's my favorite when
lustful.
People say like something that you think is gonna hurt your feelings, but I'm like, I think you're burying.
Like when somebody tried to,
you made it sound. I'm vigorous about something. Lusty.
When somebody tried to say, nice Botox, Jen, I was like, thank you, because I am spending so much money on it. If nobody notices, get
fucked. Is it even there?
I'm just throwing money away on this shit.
Let me just, I'm not doing this for it to go unnoticed. I'm doing this for it to go
okay,
noticed.
Because, so how I was brought up, not Catholic, largely That's the weird thing is like my dad was atheist. My mom's kind of been like, who am I married to? I'll go to church with them.
Yeah, because you were Catholic for a second because you knew all the churches. And
Yeah, because my mom was married
the
to
Stations
a
of the
Catholic
Cross.
guy, and then I used to go to a Presbyterian church with my neighbor. I used to go with a friend when I was like 5th, 6th grade, which I am grateful for. And then I went to a Christian college, and so at some point in
Methodist, right?
Methodist, yeah.
Wesleyan's Methodist. Yeah.
At some point, I learned that if the real impetus for saying that is you are making a prayer to God to do the worst thing possible to this person, this thing, is to send it to hell.
Yeah, sometimes when you have a goddamn broken tire on your car, you want
I think
to go
that's
straight
what
to
we
hell,
mean,
so
but
I'm
it's
fine
sort of
with
like
it.
you get 3 wishes. Your GDs are 3
Right.
wishes. You
Use
got to
your
use them
3Ds.
wisely. You know, you got to
use them
You can't
wisely.
just throw them away on a jar of pickles. You got to
Also, I think it's so Tennessee Williams to be like, God damn you. Like, I'm like going to be like, I'm going to take that a lot less seriously. And I'm going to be like, wow, how old are you? But if you tell me to fuck off, then I'm like, all right, there's a line in the sand. There's probably a word that means that's cooler, that's more younger version of what, but I just don't know what it is.
Here's proof that cussing can be really cool. Like I give you as Article A, the movie Pulp Fiction, and remember when Samuel L. Jackson says, "Reach in that bag and hand me the wallet." It's the one that says "bad motherfucker." Okay, anybody who refers to themselves as bad motherfucker is probably hands down is a very bad motherfucker that you don't want to mess with. Like,
also, I don't know what movies you were watching when you were growing up, but Eddie Murphy defined me. Harlem Nights. I don't know if I've ever enjoyed a movie more. And if you went through and like, what do you call that when you're not allowed to dedact or whatever, when you're not allowed to like see what's underneath
retraction.
Of a retraction or whatever it's called. Like if you took that script, there's only 5 words in it.
Yeah.
The rest of them are F's. So the whole time I'm like Harlem Nights, like Coming to America, any Eddie Murphy movie that had a lot of swears, I was into it. So I'm sure that I was trying it all out by the time I was like 14, which is gross, by the way. Nobody wants to hear a 14.
Eddie Murphy Raw is for sure the one where I was like, I think I journaled all the words that I like learned.
I practiced all of his stand-up, and then I also
don't do it at the talent show, kid. Like,
I'm still obsessed with him. I love when he cusses.
He does it
I
right.
Just need,
yeah.
And I wish now I don't know the name of the actress, but the woman who played the like madam, who's like the older woman who gets her toe shot in Harlem Nights. All she does is she's like, "You shot my motherfucking toe." I was laughing. I laughed for like ever because of the cussing. Why? I don't know. It's not. I think cussing is awesome. I'm never gonna let my children listen to this podcast.
No, I know, mine neither. But absolutely. I do have to say, before we move on too quickly, I did play Piano Man on the saxophone for a talent show one time. So just while we're dropping how cool we are.
Oh my God. Way to drop this party down. Wait, by yourself?
No, it was a quartet, not one piano in the bunch. It was like all brass or... But you know what? We did a good job. Lots of foot tapping. It was fun. I think it was David S, Matt D, and Kristin K, but she was Kristin E-N.
What?
Yeah, K. No.
I'm just kidding. I'm
kidding.
kidding. She's playing in a quartet. I know she's not.
I think that was, and Derek E. So there was 5 of us. Yeah. And we were all playing either saxophones, flutes. It was Piano Man. It was pretty awesome. I'm grappling with my son telling me last week, you probably heard this in the last podcast. He said, "I think you want me to be too perfect," which I sort of feel like was emotional manipulation and not dead on because
it 100% is. And every teacher will tell you it is.
Because my kids aren't allowed to say stupid, and they're not allowed to say fat. which
Same.
are two words that their grandparents like to say kind of a lot.
I know.
And so it's really hard for me to explain to them, like, because I'll say this, like,
it's a generational
other
thing,
kids
man.
that like are allowed to say like fart and crap and oh my God, I say, well, that's what their family allows, but this is what our family allows, and different families are allowed to have same rules. But when it's grandma saying the word fat,
It's a hard thing to explain.
how do I backtrack out of that?
You don't. I don't know, because my dad, it's funny you say that. So my son Finn did a project for school, and he interviewed my dad. And this is a subject for another podcast, which will be super fun.
Oh,
super
can of
fun to
worms.
talk about. And maybe we'll have Dewey on there. But my dad's adopted, and
Yeah.
we did his DNA. He came from, literally, when I tell you he's Czech, like Czechoslovakian, like you can throw a dart at the village he's
Oh my
from.
gosh.
In like
He's inbred
Slovakia or whatever.
Czechoslovakian. There's no like.
I mean, he's like, so there's like literally, it's like a pinpoint, because most of the time you get those back and it's like, you're a little bit Irish, you're a little
Yes.
bit German, you're whatever. He is like, they're like, you're 99.9% Eastern
Hensley.
European from Czechoslovakia. From whatever name he had before. Hensley's very
yeah.
English because he was adopted, but I'm sure it was like, something with a Z.
A lot
So
of consonants. We know
he-
that much.
a
Yeah.
lot of consonants. So he goes, my son interviews my dad about where he's from, and my dad's really excited to talk about it because now he has some
Yeah.
information, and he just found some of his biological siblings. It's all very exciting. So my son interviews him, talks about where he's from, and I was like, "Hey Finn, did you do that interview with Papa?" "Oh yeah." I said, "Can I see it?" Because there was something about it. I was like, I know my dad does not practice any kind of
Self-censoring.
BC anything. And so I'm like, I'm sure he started with a good joke, if you know what I mean. And I'm like, I go, "Can I see the report?" So the report looks pretty standard until the very last line. And my dad goes, "Hey, if you want, you can just tell everybody your grandpa's a bohunk." And I go, "No, you can't. No, you can't." And I said, "Finn, you got to take this off of your report." He had it like on a poster. I go, "You can't. That's a derogatory term towards you." Can't
Oh, it
say
is?
that. That is like, yeah, it's like a derogatory, like less than smart version of someone who it's. The nicer version would be bohemian, but my dad said bohunk, and I was like,
That's true, because I
I'm
do like
sure-
bohemian design and not bohunk design. So it's
Yeah, bohunk
Sounds
design is
different,
a little
yeah.
tackier. It sounds different. So we had to tell my son very quickly that Grandpa's from a different
Yeah.
generation, and therefore he'll use words that we are not okay with. One of them is
yeah.
bohunk. And then so many more are things we cannot explore on this podcast. Not right now.
We had a similar instance just this last week where it didn't involve Dewey, but it was that my son has been doing these like stop animation films, which I'm all in support of. It's like creative. He knows how to do more on an iPad with iMovie than I've ever been able to teach
Yeah, we
myself.
need him to edit our
1000%. You have no idea. He's cheap labor. I will be like,
Yeah, great.
he knows how to
great.
like add fire. He knows how to like just do all this stuff. So I was like, yeah, totally encouraging him to do this. Told his teacher about one, and she's like, "Oh, I'll show it to the class." So she sent it to him he sent it to her first to make sure that it was, she's no fool. She's got two of her own kids.
She's like, "Yeah, I'm going to see that first, see what the
So
content
she
is."
sends it to me, or she sends a message to me and says, "I want to be able to show Dash's video in class," but she quotes this line. He says, "It's where the poop," and then there's a line and quotation marks. "Can you tell me what this says? Because I don't want to show it if it's inappropriate." And so I told Dash, I'm like, "So I get an email from the teacher. She absolutely wants to show your work. She's supportive of it, but she's wants to make sure it's appropriate." And he goes, "Ah," like he just starts freaking out and hiding behind the couch. And I was like, "What? What did you say?" I have like traumatized him into thinking that he's cussing all the time. And so he told me what he said in the video, and then we watched it so I could like piece together what it was. And I was like, well, something's weird about this. So he said in the video, you looked at my poop spot. And I was like, well, it sounds gross, but there's something I don't like about it. And I played that.
It's gross.
It's so I played that part for my husband, and he goes, that's saying butthole. You're saying the spot where the poop is your butthole. And I was like, oh, yeah. Like, he just so accurately figured out what it was, and like so quickly.
He gave you a synonym. I don't know if you should blame him for that. It seems like a smart
It was
choice.
saying freaking instead of fuck. I just didn't know how to.
Yeah. Bravo, Dashel. Way to bring us full circle.
But the most important part is he learned how to edit sound only on a video. So it was really good for
do sound only.
everybody.
Oh, my God.
We should probably go. Now we have to go to the mom box, though, right?
Yeah, we got to go to the mom box. We're in the mom box.
In the mom box.
It's
a mail
cool
or
name.
comment or message we get. Put your glasses on.
Oh, my God. Mirkatu is her name. Mirkatu. Or that's a fancy Instagram name that's like a combination of a bunch of names.
Well, her parents were a lot more creative than mine.
Yeah, mine got my name from the show Dallas.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, yours got your name from
The paper.
everybody
They were
else.
like, what are the most popular names? Jeff
They
and
were
Jennifer.
like, I want Jen to be able to go to any gas station and get a customized meal. Mirkatu, and this is from Facebook, I believe. Is referring to the episode where you talked about stealing those certs when you were going through your stealing spree. She wrote, when I was 6, I stole some lifesavers from Kmart in Tacoma, Washington. And of course, in my excitement and nervousness, put them into the jacket pocket that had a hole in it. They managed to stay in the pocket until we were just past the checkout counter. Then plop, they fell out right onto my foot, rolled about 4 feet, and my whole family saw it. The checker saw it. The customer saw it. I was mortified and had to apologize. It was basically traumatic, but I didn't steal again. Also, please do another installment of Jen reading.
Okay, let me address that first. Yes, and yes, for sure.
And
Yep.
no.
Absolutely.
I have that diary under lock and key, and I have done 2 because we were on the Mortified podcast, and I read another random one that I sent you a picture of, and I'm like, there are no boring days in this book. I can never just share one again. It's gonna be
Well, here's the
worse.
thing about it. Number one, that story is so shockingly like mine. You're the kind of failed criminal that I am, but Kristin won't let me take the diary anywhere with me. I am so limited to touching this thing that I feel like once we're out of like lockdown pandemic situation kind of deal, then I can sit next to her and kind of thumb through it and be like, oh, I want to read this one. I will give her 9,000 drinks and probably like a ketamine to get her to do it, but I will do it because I am that kind of whore.
If you don't know what we're talking about, we did a video and my mom sent me this box of what I like to call the finally married box, which was all my mementos and stuff from growing up, and my mom did a really good job of keeping a bunch of like special sentimental items, and we decided to do a video and not know what was inside, and I was like, Jen, it's gonna be like weird like cheerleader stuff and who knows what's inside, and we found some gems, but inside this freaking
Treasure
suitcase
trove
of fun was a diary from when I was in 9th grade, and it is, if you haven't seen the video, it's on Facebook. It's so embarrassing. I thought I was going to vomit reading it because I, of course, name names first and last, and I'm from a town of 2,000, so everybody knew who I was talking about, and I sound like I'm preparing myself for Bridgerton, which is really the case. I was very dramatic.
This is what is the most hilarious part about this diary is it is the most benign. It is the ramblings of a very normal preteen, tween, young teen girl, but it is so embarrassing for Kristin that she has a physical nauseous reaction to hearing it.
I hate myself when I hear it's so embarrassing. So when we were asked to read another one, I barely got through. It was 2 paragraphs. It was a light day in my journaling. This journal is stocked full. I refuse, and I will never. I don't think I will ever allow it again unless I'm like. And I've hidden it like I'm an 8th grader, like all over again. I've hidden it. I put a piece of my hair in it so I'll know if anybody like
touched it,
opens it. Yeah, that's what you do when you're a kid. You put a piece of your hair in
I
it.
thought it was taped
Now,
somewhere.
that's easy for me. No, it's
she
it's
plucks a chin
it's in
hair
secret.
and then
I pluck a
you
chin
get
hair,
cut and she knows.
then I tie it.
Nobody's getting in there. Nobody's getting into that diary for sure.
Speaking of diary and all of the things that I like to confess about the boys
Let's go
that
into
I
a
loved
hot
at the time,
flash.
which were let's go to a hot flash.
This
hot
might
flash.
Hot flash. Hot flash. Based on what we were just.
I'm going to bring it back to the man who started it all for me, and that was Mr. Eddie
Yes.
Murphy, who we both
Yes.
love. And I was he brought home not only good looks and some je ne sais quoi in his
That's
leather.
what I'm telling you.
from
That
Toto's
red
HBO
leather
special.
suit is.
That red leather in I think that was Raw, and then the black and red was in Delirious. Either way, I watched them all the time.
Oh,
I also imitated them, which is highly
Inappropriate,
uncool,
yeah,
but I
that's
did.
fine, you know?
Inappropriate. Working
we
out my
didn't
own
know.
comedy
It
chops as
came
a
from a.
very small white girl in a small town, country
I-
town. And on that note, we're going to leave you.
I think we're done podcasting.
I think we're done.
Bye.